My name is Brian Sullivan, and I'm the manager of horticulture and display gardening at Descanso Gardens. We started a new program called Green Speak, in which we're trying to raise awareness of people's kind of consciousness about environmental issues. And Fritz came to us as someone who was talking about wasted space when it came to lawns. Why were you putting resources and dedicating space to grass when it had no practical purpose other than to look pretty in front of your house? So he gave a talk here a couple of weeks ago, and it was very well attended. The people loved him. And I could tell from the way he was talking that he really believed in what he had to say. So I went up to him after and I said, Fritz, I love the ideas, what you're talking about. Would you like to come to the gardens and build one of your gardens? And he was very happy to do that, because typically he builds these experimental gardens in someone's home. And it's not easy for him to tell people to go visit the house because it's a private house. So he can't really put the address out there and have people go visit. But we're a public garden, and we get thousands of people come through here every month. So what we can do is we can build this garden with all the information, so Fritz's concepts and ideas and philosophy, and then the public will have a chance to come look at that garden and walk through it and see it.
Except for there. To fill it up that much? Hey, I moved it.
Sure. The basic concept of what we're trying to do here with Fritz is to demonstrate an edible garden. Not so much a farm or a vegetable garden, but a garden from an aesthetic point of view that's beautiful, that yields food.
One idea would be to plant one entire side with lawn and have even signs that say stay off the lawn. And then have the other side be this insanely abundant edible garden that over time would develop its own mini ecosystem with butterflies and bees and birds and everything hanging out, and this side would remain totally lifeless. So as you're entering, you would see this contrast right and left side between these two worlds, and there'd be some signage here saying, here's what this garden's doing, here's what this space is doing.
It's right off the front entrance, so it's really the first thing that people come to when they visit Descanso. And what we're talking about is taking that circle, dividing it in two, not equal portions, but maybe a third and 2/3. One side will be dedicated to lawn, to show people what a manicured lawn looks like, and the other 2/3 will be dedicated to vegetable gardening.
Yeah, I'll be there in a couple minutes. Yeah, thanks. It won't take long. Okay, go find Keith.
You know what? It's actually
Hey, Keith, did you copy that?
exactly it. So he knows. We've got it on, we have a drawing of it. Just more stuff. That's good.
That it's not just beautiful, but it's also the resources I'm putting in, my time, my water, yield something. And that's what we're trying to do, is to show people they have a choice. They don't have to just take the green lawn, which spends a lot of money on water, spends money on time cutting it, the energy, the resources, that really just goes to looking good. So there's another layer to the plants, that if we go for the edibles, we want to show people they can be beautiful, and we want to show people they can do it very easily, and that people can get the benefit of the fruit and the vegetables.
And we can even itemize and get the statistics, and I'd like to find someone to work with on this that could say, here's the amount of water we're putting on this every week on each side. So you compare it, here's the water we're putting in, here's the amount each side is polluting, here's the amount each side's producing. And then with this choice, and not just in an aesthetic way, which would obviously be one part of it, but also just in pure numbers, like scientific numbers, So we would keep a running tally here of like the number of tomatoes produced, the number of grapefruit produced, or whatever. So you'd rack up by the end of the year, like how much water you've put in, and what you've then received for those resources that you've put into it.
This is one of the olive trees. This name is Pendolino, and if you look how it goes like this, it kind of weeps down, and you can kind of hear that name in Pendolino. And this is the pollinator. So he pollinates all these other trees. So these other olives, these are kind of young still. And they're just a different couple of selections. This one is named Fisa. This is a Greek olive. This is Coratina. This is an olive from Spain. And they already have fruit on them. And then we've got some lemon and some lime trees. So we're trying to showcase not only a variety of different types of trees, but then the variety within each type too, so that we'll not just have one citrus, but we'll have as many citrus as we can get. And the same with olives, not just one olive, but as many olives as we can find. The idea is that we're planting them so close together in a circle that eventually they'll be touching each other, so that the canopies will connect in a sense and form kind of a barrier, kind of a wall, but not really. And then if in time these things will connect on the top and they'll kind of form a roof. So you can make this like outside room just out of trees, which is pretty cool. Because the house, of course, is built of woods.
I think there's a lot of places you can go to see an edible garden. I mean, it would be possible to do it for the whole thing, but I'd like to provide some context for people and see it in juxtaposition to perhaps what they're living with now.
Yeah.
And once you see those two vividly up against each other, like you're walking down a sidewalk, you see this amazing productive garden on the right, and you see this kind of banal space on the left. I would want every single person that comes here for next year to have this moment of reckoning, where they reckon with their lawn. Be like, okay, what is this space that I'm pouring all these resources into really doing?